I always knew that there was a God. I always knew that he was real. Grew up in a Christian home, Christian parents. I know who Jesus was in my head, but I didn't know who he was in my heart. Yeah, my parents did their best to teach me about Jesus, and I grew up in a very loving home. So right after high school, I started my HVAC career right away. Started doing tower work, and even though that was really good for my career, I didn't exactly have the best coworkers. Like, a lot of them didn't have the best habits or like things going on in their lives. So that kind of led me into some more sin in my life. I found myself just kind of indulging in sin more at that point in my life. It just separated me from God further without me even like really realizing it. I just started like straying away. I'd say the biggest change is when Tristan invited me to his community group. Yeah, we went through the Case for Christ by Lee Strobel, and I just remember being like super amazed. All the evidence that pointed towards Jesus being who he was, and the evidence that showed that what he said, he actually did. And yeah, that really led me to want to investigate who Jesus was more and just learn more about him. Yeah, since I've come to know Christ, honestly, I've just felt this like unexplainable peace come over me. Just knowing that like I'm righteous because of what Jesus has done on the cross has just made my outlook on life like completely different. Like, and serving him has been like the most fulfilling thing I've definitely like ever done in my life. And you know, I wouldn't want to have it any other way. Yeah, I remember this one night specifically when I just decided to meditate on God and to just see what he had in store for me. So I put on some like instrumental worship music, and I just played it, and I closed my eyes, and I just kind of focused on God and what he had for in store in my life. And I remember feeling this like unexplainable peace come over like my whole body. I had like goosebumps, and I was just brought to tears by like the peace that like I've never felt, and like the peace that I've been searching for my whole life. And when that just came over me, I knew that I wanted to just give my all for Jesus. Yeah, I want to get baptized because it's what Jesus calls people who follow him to do. And I just want to make that commitment, and I want to follow him for the rest of my life. My name is Dylan, and this is my story of new life.
This morning with Dylan, whose story you just heard. I got to meet Dylan when he was in grade 10 at a Wendy's and hear about him joining the volleyball team. And I wish I could say he was shorter than me then, but I think he's always been taller than me. And so we're really excited to see how God's worked in his life and how he's grown. We're here with Tristan, who's his community group leader. We're really excited to baptize him today. So Dylan, I have a couple questions for you. Number one, do you admit that you are a sinner and that sin separates you from God?
Yes.
And do you believe in Jesus, the Son of God, who came and lived and died and rose again, and that his sacrifice on your behalf restores your relationship with God?
Yes.
And do you commit by your baptism today that you want to follow Jesus with all that you have and all that you are until he returns or calls you home?
Yes.
Then it is our great joy and privilege to baptize you today in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.